Charge your heart with light. Charge your heart with light. Charge your heart with light. Charge your heart with
Welcome, my friends. It's always a pleasure to be with you here on this channel. Welcome to the Great Unveiling. First of all, I want to say a big thank you to every single one of you who have come through as a subscriber, because I did make this promise many months ago that if we are able to get to 5,000, I would push out this drum machine. But it's become more than a drum machine. So without much ado, I know lots of you are waiting to jump in and have fun in this tool. Now, let me preface by saying it's a very simple tool. It's definitely not where I want to be as far as virtual instruments, but it's a beginning, right? You've seen my prompt generators, and now you have the ability to create, even though it's simplistic, you have the ability to create your own audio without AI influence. Take that audio and put it into Suno and see what Suno does with it. Okay, so we're going to be jumping in here very shortly, but I want to say again, profound thanks to everyone for coming through. DJ6, thank you for coming through. Blues Magic, thank you. Good to see you folks. So without much ado, let me drop this in the chat because this is going to lead us to where we're going. We're going to this page right there. So just follow me on the screen and I'll explain how it works. So I just call this my music studio, and it's gone through a lot of versions and iterations. So just make sure you got your headphones down because it could be a bit loud, and just beware of glitches. You know, it really depends on how much firepower your computer has. If your computer doesn't have that much gigs of RAM, it could run out very quickly and it could struggle to keep up. So you might hear some static. So what I suggest is maybe just use one instrument at a time if your computer is maxing out. All right, so let's have some fun. Let's click on Initialize Audio. And there you have it. There's your drum machine. Knock yourself out on this stuff. Have fun. But I want to demonstrate how to use it, okay? So over here we have the different styles. We have everywhere from funk to bossa nova to breakbeat. We even have a trap attempt. We have a trap attempt here. Like, you know, trap is my favorite. Indulge me. Okay, now, just in case you didn't hear that, let me turn up the volume one more time. All right, this is a trap beat. Now you can adjust all the volumes of everything that exists, from kicks to snares to the hi-hats. So even the claps, everything is take your way down. Now you can begin adding them bit by bit. That's the clap. That's a snare. It's a kick. A little bit of the bass. And to get the most out of it, I would recommend making it a little bit smaller on your machine. And then you have to use this slider because guess what? Down here, in addition to the drum machine, I also have a piano for good measure. So if you wanted to jam on top of this beat, you can jam on your keyboard by pressing the letter K and H and so on, as you see there. But you can hear my computer is running out of available memory, majorly because I'm streaming and I'm trying to do all this stuff as well. So just beware that your computer might complain. Now, when you've got this beat going, let's say we're up here and we've got a beat going, let's try something like funk. And just watch those volume controls because it can get quite loud. Okay, let's turn the bass on. Take the bass down a bit. And now you can go all the way to the bottom and have fun in the glider. Turn the volume a bit down. Delays, because you're doing many things at once. So my computer is really complaining because I'm doing so many things at once. You can change the instrument. So you get the idea. Let me stop it. Stop. Okay. So my computer is getting really maxed out because I'm trying to stream and trying to play and trying to record as well. But if you wanted to record your entire performance, let me give you an idea of something you could do. You could start off like maybe pattern C. You see C over here? This is where everything has dropped out. So you can just start like this. It's not a whole lot of activity. Then you can go to B, bring in the drums, and so on and so forth. But if you wanted to record what you were doing, my computer is really upset. Let me see if I can close some apps. It's really not happy. I'm straining it. Oh, I see. I've got Mixcraft open. That's probably why. No. That might be why it's complaining. I've got too many things open. Okay. So, assuming I wanted to record my performance, I would hit record. I can actually get rid of these two as well. So it's just a very sparse sound to begin with. So let's record. And see that? There's not a whole lot of stuff going on here. Can add a kick. A snare. And I can add chords. So if I wanted to add a C major chord, and I need to turn it up here, see, I added that chord. I can add an F. I need to turn it up since I turned them all down. And I can add a 5. Back to the main beat. I've stopped that and I can keep playing whatever I want here. Or I can play on top of it. Now my streaming is really maxing it out. So I'm just going to hit stop. And now it shows download recording. You can go ahead and download what you did. Just click on that. You're going to see the download appear up here. So this file, the WEBM format, you can then take that and you can go into Suno. Let me give you a very quick demonstration of how this works. So you could go into Suno, your favorite, not the other one, not not the other one, or I should say, not the other ones, because we got a lot of crazy ones cropping up these days. Not the other ones, and I won't call out any names. Today's not the day for calling out the names. Okay, so we're going to go into Suno. Right here, you want to click on audio. You want to click on upload. And when you click on upload, you want to, of course, go to your downloads because that's where it's going to be hiding in your downloads. So in downloads, here's the trick. When you go to downloads, as opposed to it just being custom files, you have to choose all files, okay? And then when you choose all files, you select the studio recording, and then you're gonna hear this. That's the recording right there. So I'm gonna hit save, I'm gonna hit cover, I'm gonna hit continue. And you know, one of the reasons why I did this is because a lot of subscribers, they haven't really experienced prompting with audio. They've been prompting just with text. But I want you to get into prompting with audio just to experience the creative fun in doing that. So now we're in here. That's our audio clip. And we're just going to say in lyrics, say, it's a great day. Time for creativity. Time for the drum. Time for fun. And a chorus. Suno is the collaborator. I ain't no procrastinator. So let's get in gear. Let's have a blast. And then you could put that down a few times. So I have my original crazy studio recording from the studio we just went into. I have lyrics that I created on the fly and style. You could say funk with slap bass, punchy drums, horns, lead guitar, and sax. And coming down here, just to really get the full value of what you did, you could crank the audio influence all the way up like that. and the style influence a little bit up, and just have fun. So we'll just say studio remix, hit create, and boom, those of you who have never created with an audio prompt, now you can create till the cows come home. You see, you don't even need to use the drum machine. You could use just the piano, create melodies, record them, bring them in here, and you'll be amazed at what you get. This is version 4.5 plus. Let's check it out. It's crazy.
It's a great day. Time for creativity. Time for the drum. Time for fun. Suno is the collaborator. Ain't no procrastinator. So let's get in gear. Let's have a blast. It's a great day. Time for creativity. Time for the drum. Time for fun. Suno is the collaborator. Ain't no procrastinator. So let's get in gear. Let's have a blast.
Okay. Oh, that was fun. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back. I was getting carried away. I wanted to show you the capabilities. Like you can go back, for those of you who are so inclined, you could go back in here and play around with your, did I just lose? Okay, that's working. Oh, something must have happened. Let's do a refresh. I might have lost some capability there. Okay. Because you can also go in and you can solo on this thing. So, like when you find the key you're on, let's see what key this is on. Okay, of course it's on C. So, yeah.
It's a great day.
Okay, let's pause on that, but you should be able to use your glider to play on top of stuff. So, just to explain to those of you who are musically conscious, this has been created with major and minor in mind. So, if you're on a major key, right? That's your key right there. And it does quite well when the delay and the reverb are down. So do, re, mi, fa, sol. So it's following the major scale. But if you wanted the minor scale, right? This is not working. Okay, the minor isn't working. I need to sort that out. But it's got all of the scales, including microtonal. So something must have broken halfway. Yeah. So the minor scale isn't working. But you know your way around the major pentatonic. So if I wanted to play on C minor, I just go to D sharp and I would be there. So that's why it didn't work. So if I wanted to jam on this, and I'll get that fixed, but if I wanted to jam on this,
Time for creativity. Time for the drum. Time for fun. Suno is the collaborator. Ain't no procrastinator.
right, so that was the first track. Let's check this one out. Now, this is what I love about Suno. It took the simple thing that we did in that drum machine and hear those triplets. It's ridiculous. Isn't that crazy? Sick.
It's a great day. Time for creativity. Time for the drum. Time for fun. Suno is the collaborator. I ain't no procrastinator. So let's get in gear. Let's have a blast.
And play the piano on it as well.
It's a great day.
Wow.
Time for creativity. Time for the drum. Time for fun. Suno is the collaborator. I ain't no procrastinator. So let's get in gear. Let's have a blast.
Look, folks, go knock yourself out on this stuff. I really hope you enjoy it. I've been working on this stuff for going to 2 months, building it a step at a time, and I've been having a blast. And honestly, just listening back to what it did just now, I know some of you are going to create some absolutely sick, banging tracks from this. So I hope you enjoy it. For those of you just coming, just go on down to philc.net as usual, because you know we've got all of these other tools here, right? This isn't the only tool. This is just one, right? This is the latest, but you also have the world music generator. So if you wanted to generate world music, you've got that. If you wanted to play just piano, you could do that. You could get very creative with it. So these are numbers on your keyboard that you can use to play. So 1, 5, 8 is a major chord right there. See, and so on and so forth. So you can have a lot of fun with all of these tools on philc.net. I'm sorry, I'm not even showing it to you. What am I doing? Okay, sorry about that. Let's go back here. So I was trying to show you all of the different nooks and crannies. We've got 50 AI prompts for newbies. So if you're new to AI music and you just needed some quick prompts, you can get over 50 of them there. If you wanted to learn more about AI music taxonomy and how I have categorized different levels of AI music creativity, it's all here from level 0 down. If you wanted to learn piano, boom, there's my videos on learning piano. AI music production is coming next year. I'm going to be mentoring, coaching, and helping people who want to learn more about how to do it well with AI music. And then I've got the environment generators. So we've got one generator there, one generator here, and many other items. Got a chord helper. So if you just wanted to play chords without having to play the full thing on the piano, those are chords as well. So there are many tools that I have put in here, but the very first tool that we've ever had for you to generate an audio is this one here today under Music Studio. So when you go to philc.net, just click on Music Studio, jump right in, click on Initialize Audio. And you know, if you just wanted to record piano, you could. Just come up here, hit record, and just come down here and play piano that you want. When you're done, hit stop. There's your piano recording. Click on it. and it should open in your native player. And there we go. So imagine I took that. I could then go into none other than Suno, just like we did before. Get into Suno, go to create, refresh, get rid of anything that was there before, and just upload that audio again. So I'm gonna click on audio upload, and I'm gonna find the audio. Just remember to look under all files, not custom file, because custom file will only look for MP3s and WAV. You don't want that. This is a different format. Okay, so we're gonna hit. We're gonna kind of drag it in a bit so that we can hear the piano from where it started. There we go. All right, let's hit save, cover, continue, and watch this. I mean, you heard what I played. It was worthless. it was it was a joke. It was like a kid playing without any piano knowledge. Now, taking that, just go into style and say a lush, classical, expansive, orchestral arrangement, melancholic and moving with depth, peaks and valleys. And we're just going to say piano. And we're just going to bump this up a little, bump this up a lot more, and hit create. And look, just be amused. No one's trying to be the next Liberace here, okay? This is just to have fun. Okay, that's all it is. And it's also for you to begin experimenting, on using audio in Suno, because I know lots of people haven't. So I'm really excited that now you can create your own audio. No one's going to say, you're stealing, because you created it. So you can use it. Check this out. You remember that part? Sounds like a Disney thing. Isn't that crazy? All right, my friends, I hope you have had fun watching me just be a goofball in this tool of ours and have fun. That's what it's all about, having fun, just having a blast. And, if you have kids, nieces, nephews, friends' kids, let them go in here and play, because honestly, when I was little, this was my dream. I have to be honest, as I was creating these tools, I'm tearing up because all I wanted to do was just have my own keyboard, just a full functioning keyboard with all the 12 notes. But for some reason, I didn't have one. I think my parents didn't know better. My mom got me a glockenspiel, a much better one than the one I started on. But I didn't have these instruments. Now I'm creating them. And I just want everyone to have that feeling of music, having fun, and being in charge of what you do with Suno. I want you to take your ideas, your funny little melodies, create little melodies just like mine. You saw what Suno did to my melody. Just go in here and just play on your keyboard, right? The notes on the keyboard: G, F, D, S, A. These diabolical people are going to flag this video. Those record labels, they're going to be like, well, that's not allowed. You're playing our melody. So let me quit while I'm ahead, okay? Because I know those record labels, they be looking from those glass panels, trying to slap the wrist of anyone who violates their walled garden. So I might have to delete just that section because I know they're gonna flag. They're gonna flag that tune. But anyway, you get the idea. Go in there, my friends. Have fun. This is all about the democratization of music, having fun, having a blast, doing whatever you want, okay? And I appreciate all of you coming through, taking a look at this tool. I would encourage you to go in there and play with it and have some fun. Hey, Beatology, how you doing, my friend? Thank you, appreciate it. Radiantology, hello. What would I use for just keys and strings for worship pad? Hmm, that's a very good idea. I have to work on that. So I have to work on something that will have a layer of strings and piano. That's a very good question. So let me look into that because what I'm thinking I could do, radiantology, what I'm thinking I could do is like in here where we have that chord helper, you know, in an emergency, if you really needed to play something worshipful, if that had some strings, I think that would help as opposed to it just being piano. And it would also help anyone who is a beginner. You could just play the 145, you know, you could actually sing to it. There is none like you. No one else. I shouldn't be singing these songs because they're gonna give me a whack on the wrist for singing. I think it's done more in song. I shouldn't be singing these songs. But anyway, you get the idea. I think I'll do something like that, and I will build on that idea. So thank you for asking the question. Yeah, I do not have anything that has strings and piano just yet, but I actually could. Now, if you were talking about in Suno, yeah, if you were in Suno, you could just give it a prompt and say um, piano and strings, piano with a layer of strings, or whatever you have in mind, and it should work perfectly. What version of Suno am I on? So this is version 4.5 plus Pro, but you also have version 5 Pro beta, and it's in beta because it hallucinates a lot. So just be aware if you're looking for picture perfectness from Suno in version 5, you're not going to get it. You're going to get a lot of dropouts. You're going to get just a lot of bad stuff. Okay? All right. The reason why I switched back to 4.5 plus Pro is it hallucinates less. You see, even though the audio is superior, but it hallucinates too much. That's my problem with it. Ah, thank you, Blake. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're enjoying it. AI Storyteller, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for coming through. DJ Six Gun Cipher, you are miles ahead. And to be fair, for those of you who didn't know, there is a free DAW out there, and a lot of people in the community argue it's not a DAW, Phil. It's just an audio editor. I don't want to get into the semantics of it, But if you are looking for something close to a digital audio workstation for free, just go to Audacity. I'll put it in the chat. Go to Audacity. You can also get free versions of many of the existing DAWs. You don't have to subscribe. You can use a free version for about 14 days and just check it out, see if you like it. Blake says, can you play just keys and tell Suno to absolutely. Yeah, no, no, no. Let me show you. Let me show you here. I love to experiment, so bear with me. Let's use our own tools to experiment, okay? So let me go into our new tool. This one. Let's go to Music Studio and let's create a worship song right now if you want it. So we can go to the piano, but remember you always want to activate the recording first. So let's hit record and let's play something worshipful. So let me get my bearings. Okay. Then we got to click on stop. And we got to download it. Now we've got a piano recording done. And then we're going to go back into Suno as usual. So going back into Suno, going to do a refresh. Going to get rid of what was in there before. Going to hit audio. Going to click on upload. Going into downloads, and it's very important that you always choose all files, because if you don't choose all files, it has a tendency to not show you what we just did. And this is quite important. Let me zero in on what I'm saying here. So you have two options in your computer browser. Let's go there. And let me move myself over. Okay. So it's here. I was hiding the view. So over here, you can see you got custom files and you've got all files. If it's on custom files, you're not going to see what you recorded in studio, right? And when I say studio, I mean here. Like what we just downloaded, you're not going to see it if you are on custom files. So it is very important that you hit all files, and then you'll be able to see what we just did over here. See that? Then when you double click that, that is when you see it in Suno. See that? Very important. Okay. And you can also use these crosshair things to kind of shorten what you recorded so that Suno doesn't have to wait too long before it hears what was done. Okay, you get the idea. We hit save, go to cover, continue, and for those of you who are members of the channel, one of the quickest ways to get your ideas down, as you already know, some of you don't know because some of you haven't gone in, and you actually should go into the playground. Some of you ain't gone into playground. Go into the playground and use it. Okay. Now, when I say playground, I'm talking about this. Let me address those of you who are members who have not gone into playground. So, speaking of worship music and all that stuff, we've got various, let's go to home. So, we got various tools in the playground for you to get a to get variations of whatever tune you have come up with. We got the music prompter, which when you click on it, you got everywhere from gospel to CCM. Um, let's see. So you got Southern gospel if you want, mood. You got reflective and meditative if you want. And all you do is hit generate prompt. There's there's a solid prompt, so you can copy this, right? You can copy whatever you've prompted, and then you can go into Suno, and that can be something that you would paste in styles. So in style, I can paste that prompt, which is going to season our audio track. Then we go back into Playground and we can go to AI Songwriter. In AI Songwriter, I'm just going to speak a few words. So I'm going to hit the record button. I am, oh, it's not working. Oh, I see. I have to adjust this. Let's see. Okay, my microphones are out of whack. So let me just type it in. I worship and praise your name. Great. I'll just type in some lyrics. Um, okay, that should be enough. Um, okay, so the cool thing about this tool is I can choose the format. If I want it to be intro verse like that, I could choose that and I could just hit structure my song. And this tool is going to create a structured song with the very limited information I put in. See that? Boom, copy my song. And now I'm back in Suno. And all I'm going to do is put in those lyrics. You see, those are lyrics I came up with, and the tool just helped me structure them. So now we have the tune that we just wrote, which, by the way, didn't get edited as I wanted in Suno, but that's it. Turn up the volume. Okay. We'll just call it Worship Test. All right. Are you ready to see Suno do its crazy magic? Let's turn this up a little bit, style influence up a bit, and hit create. Boom. And I know there are a lot of skeptics who say, you really shouldn't be doing that, Phil, because computers have no spirit in them. I don't even want to get started on that today. let's let's just play it. Let's just play it.
worship and praise and exalt.
Okay, you get the idea. So, I mean, that was my simple thing I did on the virtual keyboard. Now, if I took out all this razzle dazzle, let's take out all of this very extensive thing I did, and let's just say it's an instrumental, right? But style, all you need to do is say worshipful strings, meditative, uh, and expansive mix. Simple. When you know the words to use, you can still get something really great. Let's just hit create, and you're going to see what it does. It will still create something pretty good, even though my initial prompt was a very lowly, simple piano line. Ba 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 ba. So you heard that? Let's listen to this. Hear that? Ba, ba. And let's hear this new one. It's taken what I did, and I'm saying this for the skeptics who cry foul. This is an original composition. This isn't a, I just played it, made it up as I went along, and Suno came along as a master orchestrator and arranger and just nailed it. You hear that end? It's exactly what I did at the end. You see what I'm saying? Honestly, it's really more about it being your idea. I'm missing all the chats because I'm talking. All right. So, Radiantology asked how to become a member. I put that in the chat. Awesome. Awesome. I'm happy to hear that. Um, AI storyteller. Okay. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed, and honestly, just try your hand as well at this stuff. You will find that if you just do very simple melodies, I really want to stress that it doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be the complex stuff. It's very simple. Just start off, try A from A, S, D on your keyboard, the second layer on your keyboard. That's A, S, D. Just stay on A, S, A, S, D, F, G, H, J, K. Just stay on those letters, and you can make some real fun stuff. Just use two fingers, and you could just hold down A to give it some sort of bass. I mean, it's you could do child's play, but when you put it in Suno, it's your idea magnified. That's really what I'm about, because some of you, I want to nudge you into your musicianship. Some of you are musicians, but you just haven't accepted it, right? You're still looking at yourself as, okay, well, I guess I'm using AI for. No, this is, I want you to now see yourself as a musician by creating simple melodies. A lot of the great producers that exist today, they don't know how to play keys, but they know the sound. And through just interpolation, manipulation, they get a melody, they get something they feel would work and it pops. Or even with beats, they're not drummers. They can't sit at a drum kit and hold down the groove. But when they hear a groove, a beat, a sample, Kanye is a great example. Those samples, he knows how to put them together. You see what I'm saying? So lots of you are musicians, but you have to convince yourself by doing simple compositions. And then when you really want to go all in and learn, just go to the homepage. Trust me on this one. This is my buddy Connor right here. Connor learned the major scales and the major chords pretty quick. Now he was playing a different instrument before he came on here, but in this video, oh gosh, you gotta love the ads. But in this video, let me mute the site. But in this video, I take him through how to play by ear in baby steps. And this was like the first lesson, just the first lesson. But if you watch it, this was recorded um, at Milano's. Milano's, shout out to Milano's. And I recorded this video to help people who don't know much about music to learn. You see how he's picking out the notes? This honestly was a stock beginner.
So, you know,
This is a stock beginner learning piano. And we spent a long time just going over this stuff. So I want to encourage you, if you want to learn the theory of music, it's available. I actually have another video on the homepage. This video, I'm teaching my nephew in this one how to play by ear, and I'm teaching him all the chords and scales theory. Okay? If you really want to learn, I can help you. I can teach you the theory. The theory is very liberating. Just watch these videos. And then if you're in membership, I have an extended 1 hour almost going into more depth on scales and chords. So if you really want to learn, just let me know where you are in your journey. Drop me comments. I'll see what you're struggling with and I will keep creating lessons. On my other channel, which is at Phil C, Phil with two L's, C, I have a lot more. I have an entire series. In fact, this is the Phil C channel. So just look under this channel. I have a lot of training because I know some of you want to play. You love music, obviously, and you want to learn how to play piano. You at least want to be able to do certain things. Like for me, that fateful day when I heard, well, if you want to learn how to play piano, come on Wednesday. It was May 27th, way back, like 1988. And that's how I showed up at that church training. And I mean, I'd been picking out notes like many of you had. Little did I know that I was going to learn stuff that would blow my mind. And I went from that to actually being able to play. I remember Stevie Wonder's I Just Called to Say I Love You. That song, I loved the song. I had no idea what Stevie was doing until I learned. And shortly after that, I could play the song by ear. You see, some of you, you got greatness in you as musicians, but if you don't lean into it and tap into it, you won't you won't be able to harvest it. You got to harvest it, you know. And it's funny, just around that time is when I started listening to my heroes Take Six. Little did I know that I would be on their podcast, being interviewed by them, doing 10 remixes of their songs. I mean, I was like a baby when I started listening. I knew nothing. I knew nothing. I just loved their music. I listened to it. I would wish I even knew remotely what they were doing. But as I began to grow in music over the years, listening to them over and over and over again, and listening is very important. As I began listening to Take Six over and over again, it started making more sense what was going on. But with Take Six, you get to a point where you think you know what they're doing, only to discover they've moved on again. So, jokes apart, listening is key, and you can grow. I know it might seem like so far off, like Take Six seems light years ahead, But there I was on their podcast, being interviewed on the Spread Love podcast, having done 10 remixes of their songs. So if you haven't gone to Take Six at Take Six Official, go there, check out their music. Amazing vocal group. I learned a lot about music. Their album with Joe Sample, they did a couple of things with Joe Sample and mind blowing. U Turn, if you haven't listened to U Turn, go listen to that song. But all of that to say, my friends, you too can grow as a musician. It might just be the early stages, but you can definitely get there. You just have to persist. If you have a guitar center around you, I will encourage you to go to a guitar center and begin learning because they have lessons, guitar lessons, DJ lessons, piano lessons, everything. All right, let's take a look at the chat. Yeah, you're absolutely, Bitoji. You're very correct. Well, producers are not necessarily instrumentalists, but they are musicians, just not multi instrumentalists or instrumentalists. And a lot of executive produce like Simon Cowell. Are you kidding me? Simon is in the world of music, but he's not a producer. He's more like an executive producer, is what I would call him. Yeah, very few can do both well. Yeah. Yes, Blake. Okay. Blake says, I'm a blind keyboardist who bangs stuff out on a door and runs it through Suno. Wow. Wow. Okay. And honestly, major chords and Nashville numbers are fine. But what I would recommend is when you sit at the piano, like when I sit at the keyboard, this is my keyboard here. Let me see if I can get it to play. It's not in a good mood. It's not complying with my audio instructions. Let's see what's going on with it. Let's see if I can get it to play. It's been a very naughty boy for the past few days. It's not coming into my computer. But let me just play it externally. So when I sit at the piano to play, Blake, what I sometimes do, I put myself into forget about your eyesight mode, which means I'm not looking at the keys, but I'm going for a feel. Let me demonstrate to you. So, like now, I am not looking at the keys, right? My eyes are closed, I'm not looking at the keys, and I could start from anywhere. But I started improvising. And improvisation is all about expression. So I would suggest have fun just improvising, not looking at the piano. I mean, it's very liberating. It's a very liberating exercise. And I first started thinking about this stuff after a brush with the maestro, Chick Corea, who said the key to improvisation is not to think of scales and chords. Because I met him at Cabot Hall in London. I said, Chick, what's the secret? How do you improvise? And he said the key to improvisation is not by cramming a bunch of scales and chords and patterns. While that is not bad, the real key to improvisation is playing what feels good and right to you. So the more you listen, the more your palette is expanded, and the more you know, okay, that's the kind of feel I want to get. So I stopped focusing majorly on, oh, what am I playing? I'm playing a major scale. I just forgot about that, and it's helped liberate me. So keep having fun, Blake. You're doing awesome. and keep sharing your story. It's very inspiring, extremely. Yeah. So I teach how to play by ear as well, because really when you think about playing, it's all in those 12 notes. And each note, like if you have a reference note of C, all the other notes, they all have a purpose. They all have a segue functionality. Like if I want to go from a C to a D, I can use the C sharp. If I want to go from a D to an E, I can use the E flat. If I want to go from an E to a G, I can use an F sharp, so on and so forth. So it's really all about feeling comfortable with each one of the 12. And it comes from just intentionally listening and practicing and opening up your palette. So people like the great Oscar Peterson, the late great Chick Corea as well, Herbie Hancock. I started adding more meat on my plate. So I went from just simple major minor arrangements to listening to the grandmasters. And that expands your palate and your taste and your hearing. And you're now hearing stuff that is way more advanced. And it's not to say that every piece of good music needs to have a major nine, sharp five, whatever you want to call it. But as a musician, it's just good to have a wide palette. And it also helps in your exercising and expanding your compositions. That's what I've found. Oh yeah, take six. They're the masters of unpredictable chord changes. Yeah. Radiantology. I'm not confident with how I sound, but can I use Suno to clone my voice and use it for all songs I generate on Suno? So you can't use Suno to clone your voice, but you can sing and have Suno sing it for you. As I've demonstrated, you can use your voice as a trumpet. You can sing the lyrics as you want and feed them into Suno with your singing, and Suno will transform them. Yeah, absolutely, Blake. So I have some videos on improvisation. I actually have a lot. So you know what? On this site, let me go there. I think we have a Fearless Piano at the top there. So on my website, Blake, go to the Fearless Piano drop down, and I have over 50 videos teaching different aspects of the piano right on this website. A lot of folks haven't tapped into this. So I have Fearless Piano from module 1 all the way to I lose count. But just go in there. I have so many videos. Let me actually show you. Um, so when you go into philc.net, up here, Fearless Piano, click on that. You'll see this first video, but click on the list, and there are your 50 videos of how you can learn. Honestly, all I would need with some of you is just 2 hours, just to get you the theory, to really narrow down the theory. And honestly, some of you, that's all you might need. But because I can't sit down with you, I want to encourage you, use the virtual piano that we have in the music studio and just watch the videos here, and you will come away knowing. Honestly, some of you have an innate, inbuilt piano affinity. You feel drawn to the piano, but when you sit down, you really don't know what to do. I was one of such people. I remember going to one of my friends' houses. We were not that rich to have a piano, but my buddy was, and I would go to his house, and I would feel so drawn to the piano, and he had all these piano lessons and stuff, and I didn't have piano lessons, and I would sit down and I would feel handicapped. I'd really want to, it's as though the piano was calling to me, but I couldn't for the life of me know what to do until I took lessons. Lessons saved my soul, to be honest. Because now I can sit down and I can pretty much play what I mean, it's so liberating to be able to sit down at a piano and just express yourself. And it's not about, oh, I want to be the best. No, it's not about that. It's about being the best version of yourself that you could ever be. Some people, they've got a long way to becoming the best version of themselves because they haven't started learning. They haven't started learning. So if you're feeling drawn to the piano, I want to encourage you. You know, as Blake is saying, Blake has realized, yeah, I need to get more into improvisation. You know, it's very therapeutic when you sit down at a piano after a hard day's work and you just even if it sounds like nonsense, and it doesn't even have to be difficult. It could just be, I mean, it could just be that. And that's fine, but the next level needs to be intentional learning. Intentional learning. So make a date with your buddy Phil. Go to philc.net, go to this Fearless Piano, and start learning. Start learning. And you, as an AI creative, you will feel a lot more powerful when you're going into the music studio, right? And when you're creating your own melodies. It's so liberating to create your own little melodies, even if it's just a 1 3 5 4 6 8. Some of you who are in music know what I'm talking about, right? I mean, it's just fun. Piano is fun, but you got to make it a lifestyle. Put some intention into it. Okay, I'm done. That's my music sermon for the night. That's my music sermon for the night. Ah, yeah, Sunrise in a class of his own. Gordon, absolutely. Oh, you don't have a piano. Okay. But I have a 25. Oh, of course, you got a MIDI controller. That's it right there. Yeah, that's enough to learn and improvise. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep, that's enough. And just so you know, in at Guitar Center there are a lot of keyboards on sale. You can get keyboards for as little as under $100, like what Blake is talking about. You can get some MIDI controllers, just plug them into your computer, use the MIDI, get some free piano sounds, and you're off to the races. Okay. All right, my friends. Well, that's it. I want to say a big thank you to everyone for coming, showing up, and if you do create anything, you can always just put it in the community wall, with the drum machine. I would really love to see what you end up creating. So, um, you know, just just put it up there, and like I said, it's yours. It's all yours. Now, coming soon is going to be a different tool. I've been working on this tool for a while. For those of you who are members, I am soon going to be launching a sampler, probably later this week. It's going to be a drum sampler that allows you to drag in your beats, your samples, and I'm actually going to provide some drum samples for you guys, but it allows you to drag in your samples and to have more superior drum sounds. So I will be putting that in the playground later this week. I will announce when it's in there, but I was pleasantly surprised to be able to get it to be able to load in your own samples. And I will also be creating some additional loops for you guys who want to experiment with that kind of stuff, um, to be able to get a taste of the next level of production. Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to brother Beatology on here. And honestly, Gordon, you should do some videos, Gordon. You should do some videos of you in the studio. Am I missing some studio videos of you? Because people need to see you at work, man. They need to see how you do what you do. So go on down to Beatology's channel. He was our very first interviewee. We've had, I think, two or three now, but he was our very first interviewee on this channel, and he shared ideas and perspectives about what is happening in the music industry. So we have a lot of capable musicians. He's worked with everyone that you can imagine, including the albums under Michael's umbrella. And there's only one Michael. I guess I don't need to tell you who that is. But a shout out to Beatology for coming through today. Radiantology, thank you for chatting in. Blake, thank you very much. And everyone else who I might have missed, thank you all very much. Okay, I think we have a hard stop. Oh dear, I've actually gone over because we have another event that was happening right now on the AI Advantage. So for those of you who perhaps want to learn how to effectively manipulate, what's the word? Um, you want to learn how to manipulate images, like um, you want to create video for your music, or you want to create a website, or you want to create graphics, or you want to learn about Canva, you want to learn how to publish a free website. All that stuff, I'm talking about it as soon as we get off. In fact, it's already started. So the moment this ends, I encourage you to just jump on that, and you'll be able to learn a little bit more about how things work in the world of graphics. I'm going to be tackling Sora, VO3, Midjourney. I'm covering them all. Okay. I appreciate you, Gordon. Thank you very much. All right, my friends, you take care, and I'll see you soon. As soon as this ends, it is going to push you directly to the AI Advantage. If you're so inclined to learn about graphics and multimedia stuff, that's coming next. All right? See you next time.
When ceilings crash and walls cave in, I stand tall.